Switzerland, and Jeff Buckley was playing, and we went to see him, and it was mind-altering. I knew Freddie quite well, and he was a wonderful guy, you know. And, we used to sit and talk about.
We're going to carry on until we've finished that. Get on there 25 minutes.
Robert Plant, the legendary voice of Led Zeppelin, has finally spoken out, and the revelations are shocking. At 76, after decades of iconic music, world tours, and a career that defined rock, Plant has opened up about something fans never expected: the 6 musicians he absolutely could not stand. While the public has always admired his artistry, charm, and charisma, his honesty about his personal feelings toward other musicians has revealed a side of Plant rarely seen in interviews. For decades, fans and critics have speculated about Plant's relationships with his peers. Some assumed that rock royalty shared mutual respect, while others whispered about rivalries behind the scenes. Plant has remained largely private, focusing on his music rather than stirring controversy. But now, after years of reflection and experience, he has candidly named the artists who irked him the most, musicians who, according to him, displayed behavior, attitude, or artistry that he simply could not tolerate. These revelations have reignited discussions across social media, fan forums, and music publications. Fans are debating his choices, analyzing his reasoning, and reconsidering rock history from Plant's perspective. What made these 6 musicians so irritating to a man who has shared the stage with some of the greatest talents in the world? Today we'll dive deep into Robert Plant's confessions, exploring not only the 6 names he revealed, but also the context behind his candid opinions. This isn't just gossip. It's a rare glimpse into the mind of a rock legend. At 76, Plant has nothing to lose and everything to share. His insights remind us that even the greatest musicians, who have achieved legendary status, have personal opinions, rivalries, and frustrations that most of the world never sees. Robert Plant's career spans more than half a century, and during that time, he has seen it all. Legendary collaborations, groundbreaking performances, and encounters with some of the most influential musicians in history. From the early days of Led Zeppelin, he quickly realized that talent alone does not dictate relationships in the music industry. Personality, ego, and professionalism play a huge role, and even the most famous artists can clash behind the scenes. Plant's experience on the road exposed him to countless musicians. Some were humble, talented, and easy to work with, while others proved difficult, egotistical, or frustrating in ways that could test anyone's patience. Through decades of touring, recording, and collaborating, Plant developed a keen sense of who he respected and who he could not tolerate. His ability to separate talent from personality has always been part of what makes him an astute observer of the music world. The 6 musicians he revealed, according to Plant, shared certain qualities that rubbed him the wrong way. Some displayed arrogance, treating peers and collaborators with disrespect. Others focused more on image or self-promotion than on the music itself. And a few, despite their talent, consistently made professional interactions unnecessarily complicated or frustrating. While Plant never publicly named names until now, his decision to finally share these opinions reflects a combination of honesty and liberation. After decades in the spotlight, he no longer feels compelled to maintain diplomatic silence. It's important to note that Plant's judgments are not about envy or jealousy. He has always maintained humility, even at the peak of his fame. Instead, his critiques are rooted in experience. Having worked with some of the most gifted musicians in the world, he has developed a finely tuned sense of integrity, professionalism, and authenticity. When someone fails to meet these standards, Plant notices, and in this case, he has openly admitted his disapproval. His revelations have sparked both debate and fascination among fans and music historians. People are dissecting his comments, comparing them to known rivalries, and attempting to understand the reasons behind his choices. Some names surprise even longtime observers of rock history, highlighting that personal grievances can exist even among legendary figures. At 76, Plant's honesty offers a rare window into the private dynamics of a world that most fans see only from the stage or the studio. Robert Plant's decision to finally revealed the six musicians he hated the most has ignited a flurry of discussions in the music world. Over decades of performing, recording, and collaborating, Plant encountered countless personalities, some inspiring, others frustrating. These experiences shaped not only his musical journey but also his understanding of professionalism, creativity, and integrity. According to Plant, the musicians he singled out were not simply difficult in the casual sense. Their behavior reflected attitudes that clashed sharply with his own values, making collaboration nearly impossible. One of the main reasons these musicians frustrated Plant was their arrogance. In an industry where ego can often overshadow talent, Plant valued humility and respect above all. He admired artists who worked diligently, treated collaborators with courtesy, and focused on the music rather than self-promotion. The individuals he criticized, however, often exhibited the opposite, prioritizing fame, image, or personal gain over genuine artistry. Plant explained that working with such personalities created tension, wasted energy, and in some cases, undermined the creative process entirely. For someone who has achieved legendary status through skill, dedication, and collaboration, encountering musicians who lacked these qualities was especially irritating. Another factor contributing to Plant's dislike was inconsistency and unprofessionalism. In his words, some of these artists couldn't show up on time, take direction, or maintain a focus on the work at hand. Over years of touring and recording, Plant learned to recognize patterns that indicated whether someone could be trusted as a collaborator or was likely to cause frustration. His honesty about these six musicians reflects decades of accumulated insight, the kind of perspective only someone who has operated at the highest levels of rock can offer. Plant also emphasized that personal chemistry played a role. Beyond talent or work ethic, he noted that collaboration requires a mutual understanding and shared approach to music. Even a technically brilliant musician could be difficult to work with if their personality clashed with his own. These six musicians, according to Plant, lacked that connection, making interaction more stressful than enjoyable. By naming them now, he sheds light on the realities behind the curtain of rock stardom. That fame does not guarantee harmony, and even legendary artists have personal boundaries and preferences. Fans and critics alike have reacted strongly to Plant's admissions. Some were surprised by his choices, while others praised his candidness. Music historians see this as an important insight into the inner workings of a highly competitive industry, where talent, ego, and personality constantly intersect. For Plant, sharing these details is not about creating controversy. It is about honesty, perspective, and finally speaking openly about experiences that shaped his life and career. This revelation also underscores the human side of legends. Despite his monumental success, Plant is not immune to frustration, disappointment, or the challenge of navigating interpersonal dynamics. His honesty serves as a reminder that even icons have personal opinions, preferences, and boundaries. At 76, he is unafraid to reveal them, providing fans with a rare glimpse of the man behind the music, the tours, and the legendary voice that defined an era. Beyond the professional frustrations, Robert Plant's revelations about the six musicians he disliked also highlight the emotional side of working in the music industry. While fans often see only the polished performances, sold-out arenas, and chart-topping hits, the reality behind the scenes can be very different. Relationships between musicians are complex, shaped by ego, competition, and personality. Plant's experiences illustrate that even legendary artists are not immune to tension, rivalry, and personal incompatibility. In his discussion, Plant emphasized that some of the artists he disliked had habits or attitudes that repeatedly created conflict. This could include behavior that was disrespectful, dismissive, or simply incompatible with the collaborative environment necessary for creating great music. Over decades in the industry, he learned to recognize these red flags early, often steering clear of situations that might waste time or energy. His honesty now serves as both a revelation and a cautionary tale about the challenges even the most seasoned musicians face behind the scenes. Interestingly, Plant's opinions are not rooted in envy or competition. He acknowledged that many of these musicians were highly talented, with skills that deserved recognition. The issue, he explained, was largely about integrity, professionalism, and the willingness to collaborate respectfully. Talent alone, he suggested, is not enough to earn respect or admiration. By separating ability from attitude, Plant provides a nuanced perspective that few public figures dare to share. Fans are seeing that even a rock legend like him evaluates people not just on fame or skill, but on how they engage with others, handle pressure, and contribute to a positive, creative environment. Plant also reflected on how these experiences shaped his approach to music and collaboration. Over time, he became selective about who he worked with, prioritizing individuals who shared his values, work ethic, and respect for the art. This selectivity not only preserved his own energy but also ensured that the music he produced remained authentic and powerful. It's a reminder that even in a world